A polynomial is an expression that has no operations other than addition, subtraction, and multiplication by or of the variables. Well, I find this definition a little hard to follow, so let's just take a look at some examples of polynomials. And here's one. It has 3 terms. Here's another with 2 terms. And here's a long one with 4 terms and lots of exponents. The first one is read x squared plus 3x minus 4. The middle one is read 7n plus 42. And the one at the bottom is read 6x cubed plus 4x squared y plus 3xy squared plus y cubed. These expressions are not polynomials. This one's not a polynomial because it involves division. This one's not a polynomial because it involves absolute value. And this one's not a polynomial because it involves taking a square root. The degree of a polynomial with one variable is the exponent of the highest power of that variable. So here's our polynomial that we already looked at, and we can rewrite it so that each term is multiplied by a power of x. And remember that x to the 0 is equal to 1, so 4 times 1 is still 4. And we're also allowed to say 3x to the first instead of just 3x. But the highest exponent is 2, so this polynomial has a degree of 2, and it is called a second-degree polynomial. This polynomial happens to be written in descending powers of x, because you can see from left to right the powers go 2, 1, and then 0. This polynomial has 3 terms, so it is called a trinomial. And the polynomial is a second-degree polynomial, so it is called a quadratic. If there is no variable in a term, then that term is called the constant term. So in this trinomial, the constant term is -4. Remember that when you have subtract 4, that's the same as adding -4. So we say that the constant is not just 4, we say that it is -4. And then each term with a variable has a coefficient. The coefficient of the first term is 1 because x squared and 1x squared are the same thing. And of course, if we want, we can write the 1 in there. Of course, the coefficient of the second term is 3. Well, let's take a look at this polynomial that has 4 terms and lots of exponents. The degree of a polynomial with more than one variable is the highest sum of the exponents of one of the terms. And the degree of this polynomial is 3, because notice we're allowed to write in the exponents that aren't there, because y is the same as y to the first, and x is the same as x to the first. So the highest exponent in this polynomial is 3, but the middle 2 terms, the 2 and the 1, add up to 3. So every one of these terms have exponents that add up to 3. So the degree of this polynomial is 3. This polynomial happens to be written in descending powers of x, 3, 2, 1, and 0, and ascending powers of y, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Some polynomials have special names. A polynomial with 1 term is a monomial. A polynomial with 2 terms is a binomial. And as we've already said, a polynomial with 3 terms is a trinomial. Some other special names have to do with the degree of the polynomial. A polynomial with degree 1 is linear. A polynomial with degree 2 is quadratic. And a polynomial with degree 3 is cubic. Well, we'll finish this lesson by trying to label 4 polynomials based on the number of terms and the degree of the polynomial. So if you want to stop the video and try to think of the name before I show it on the screen, you may do so now. Well, this, of course, is a quadratic trinomial. Let's take a look at another. It has 2 terms, and the exponent is 3, so it is a cubic binomial. This one just has 1 term, no exponent higher than 1, so it's a linear monomial. And finally, 2 terms, degree 2, this is a quadratic binomial.